Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, what a crazy busy news day. A lot of stuff is taking place. Some of you, maybe. I don't know if there's that many left that get really upset when I say something that's not pro-Trump. I think most of you have all left. But yeah, it's not looking good. And so I got a lot to talk about. It's been a nice, cloudy, cool day here. I mean, probably people out wearing sweatshirts and stuff. Not me, but it's getting close to those temperatures. So it's kind of a nice change from what it's been. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah, our big monthly meeting is this weekend. This Sunday, 2 p.m. Is when it starts. Same time, same place as always. Will be a really good one. We have an industry expert when it comes to artificial intelligence. He's an IT guy. He's worked for several big companies in the area of developing AI. And he's a prepper. And he's a whole Bible believer. So this will be a good one. Not one to miss. So please come out. That's the 31st, this Sunday, last day of the month. So, my goodness, my throat. So the president, well, pretty much all the news today is surrounding about what he said and did. In the Oval Office, he signed several executive orders, took questions, gave comments to the press. And I don't know if it went the way they wanted it to or not, but it doesn't look good. And I think that we should, I'm not telling you to go into a panic, but I think people should be pretty concerned with what's going on. He signed an executive order ordering the Department of Defense to create a special unit within the National Guard to be used in American cities to fight crime and to enforce or to fight against its civil unrest. That's concerning. To oppose disorderly conduct, civil unrest. That's actually what it says there in the order. That's a little concerning. I mean, that's sounding a lot like, Germany and communist Russia and stuff, where they had their little goon squad and their brown shirts and stuff. It's one thing to say you're fighting crime, even if it may not be constitutional. It's another thing that you're gonna send the military in to, create civil order because of all the disorder. That's a little concerning. He also signed an executive order making it a crime. Although I'm trying to figure out how an executive order executive orders, they're not even supposed to be like real. Okay, all an executive order was ever meant to be was like the head of a company sending a memo to his employees. It should be the president sending a memo to his employees, but now they're acting like they're law, and it's not. But he signed an executive order supposedly to make it a crime to burn an American flag, punishable up to 1 year in prison. And I do not like burning American flags, but I also believe that free speech needs to be free speech, and that's been something that's been upheld by the Supreme Court. And I do not like the idea of doing that. So I'm sure there'll be some that completely disagree with me, and that's okay. That's okay. But that one's a little concerning. There was several other things that's taking place that are just strange. And then some of the comments that he said. One reporter was asking him. Well, they also said. And I forgot to mention this the other day. Some of you already know this, but through a deal with Intel, the United States government now owns 10% of Intel. So a private company, the United States owns 10%. Well, the president said that we're going to do that more. There's going to be more companies that America, the government of America, has a controlling share of the company. I mean, that's sounding a lot like communism. You know, that's where the government owns private businesses and controls them. So anyways, today the press was asking him about that. And they said, well, a lot of people would say that this, could look like communism and all this. Is this just a way for you to, is this the new type of business? Is this the new type of way that the government does business with private industry? And the president did not deny or get upset or anything at him being accused of having an appearance of communism, which is strange because he's very defensive. I mean, you've all heard him. He has no problem snapping at reporters, and he did not. He just answered the question very pleasantly and said, yes, this is the new way of doing business, and this is what we're going to be doing. So that's strange. So now the government's going to be in the business of controlling, owning private companies, or at least part of them. I mean, at least they're being public with it, I guess. Oh, goodness gracious. He says that he wants to revoke the broadcast license of ABC and I think CBS. I can't remember. Two of those TV stations. He wants to revoke the broadcast license because they don't show enough content that's supportive of him. That's what he said. That was a little disturbing. Again, attacking free speech, even though I don't agree with these, with these companies. I mean, we have a constitution for a reason. I mean, are we going to go after Fox News or Newsmax? Although they don't have a broadcast license, so I guess that would be different. I don't know if Fox News does, but I doubt that Newsmax does because they're cable companies. But there's no talk about them being overtly pro-Trump, so I don't know. There's just a lot of things, folks, a lot of things that are a little upsetting. He said again today, he's talking about changing the Department of Defense's name back to the Department of War, which is what it was, in the early 20th century. And why he said that is disturbing. He kept going on and on about, what's this defense? We don't need to be defending things. We need to be, going on the offense. We need to go on war and all this kind of stuff. And when asked, he said he was going to change it to the Department of War. And a reporter said, well, doesn't that take an act of Congress? And he said, yeah, well, we'll just do it. And I'm sure that they'll be okay with it. So again, blatantly admitting to potentially violating the Constitution and acting like it's not a big deal. Venezuela has put 15,000 troops on its border along the coast because we now have those 6 naval ships. So that's happening. I mean, there could be a war starting there soon. Who knows? China, he also said that they're going to allow 600,000 Chinese students into the United States. So we're working on kicking out all these illegals and migrants and people that's stayed here too long. But now we're going to let 600,000 Chinese in. The level of espionage, I'm sure, that will be taking place amongst many of them. Who knows? I'm sure it will be high. I don't know what to say. I tell you this, I really do try to keep myself in balance and not to overreact to things. Because I know that even though I'm just some hillbilly on YouTube, that there are people out there that really, amazingly, I don't understand it. They actually listen. They actually listen, and they put value in what I say. And so I'm very well aware of that. So I'm trying to not overreact to all of this. But I'll tell you this, whatever is going on, and that whatever doesn't look good, it's happening really fast. Like, things are picking up speed. I suspected long before Donald Trump took office, that this kind of stuff was going to happen. That's why since November of last year, I have been losing subscribers substantially and have received an immense amount of hate mail, emails and stuff, because I did not come out and publicly support and glorify and just, drool over the fact that a new Messiah was taking the throne when Donald Trump became president. I was warning and warning and warning of signs and things that I believed would happen. And it's cost me a lot, and I'm okay with it. I'm not complaining about that. But even saying all that, I am still a little shocked at how fast things are moving. It's moving really fast. They're talking about putting troops in Baltimore now. The Pentagon says they're already making plans to deploy troops into Chicago and New York in the next couple of weeks or so. They said sometime in September. And then now this new executive order, creating this special National Guard unit. Tariffs, high taxation, basically. Dollar's not doing any better. I know that today he was bragging about, stopping 7 wars, and most of these are little conflicts and stuff in like India and the continent of Africa and stuff like that. But, there's some big wars that are getting ready to happen, potentially. And so there's that. There's a possible real civil war. You start putting National Guard and federal agents in city streets, not just to enforce law, but to, quell civil disobedience and all that, dissent and stuff. That's getting to a whole different level. Like I said, I think it was this morning, or maybe it was yesterday. Imagine any of these things being done by Joe Biden or Barack Obama. Any of this stuff. Imagine Joe Biden saying, "Oh, I'm going to change it to the Department of War, and, we'll just do it anyways, and I'm sure Congress will be okay with it." Can you imagine what the conservative talking heads would say to that? The Sean Hannitys and the Mark Levins and the Glenn Becks and all those kind of people. That they would be having strokes on air. But Donald Trump says it, and it's okay. Donald Trump does things that, aren't necessarily constitutional. Donald Trump says things that aren't really true. And everyone's okay with it, or at least the conservatives are. If there are any of you left that watch this channel that fall within that, and I know you're probably angry and cussing at me and everything else. If you want to unsubscribe. The rest of you should probably check to see if you are subscribed. YouTube's notorious for unsubscribing you after a certain period of time. So if you actually watch this channel, you should see if you're actually subscribed. But anyways, if you're one of the others, you need to wake up. Things are happening pretty rapidly, folks. That movie, what was Civil War or whatever that came out, was it last year? It's looking eerily similar to what is happening right now. And the things that are going on, it may sound really good. Like the immediate effects may sound really good. But you have to stop and think, folks. This is not constitutional. This is what dictators and communists and stuff do. This is how those things get started. And it's a very dangerous, slippery slope we're on. And right now, it's like the whole thing. The White House is on steroids when it comes to all this stuff. It's just daily. These things are coming out. And I don't know, maybe they figure they only have a short amount of time, so they got to get as much through as they can. But either way, it's not going to say scary, but it's very concerning. And I want to strongly encourage you to pick up your pace. Check your stuff, check your plan, and you need to pick up your pace. Because, yeah, this does not look good at all. And it's coming at us so fast. I know some of you may have believed you had years to go still. But the pace, the speed at which this is happening, it may hit us a whole lot sooner than we thought. It's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.